in Boswell trial, and also terrible tragedy coming out of Scottsdale, Arizona. Two jets have collided on a runway, one dead, three injured, and one other person still inside of one of the jets. We're going to do Megan Boswell first. Please check out my earlier live pertaining to Kendrick Lamar and the 59th Super Bowl game. Give me your opinion pertaining to his performance, the beef with Drake, and also why people were booing Miss Taylor Swift. Check out that live from earlier. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big 129 Cash App. This is live number 2. Follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app as well, and take the polls on my community page pertaining to the latest developments of the Super Bowl and other breaking news and content. Megan Boswell, everybody.
Trial began for Megan Boswell, and it picked back up again today. Now, several key pieces of evidence were shown in the courtroom during day 5 of the trial. That includes the trash can, trash bag, onesie, and blanket that held Evelyn's body when it was found on March 6, 2020. The defense, however, narrowed in on pieces of aluminum foil that were found in that trash can. Several members of Evelyn's army were outside the courtroom today, waving signs and trying to get cars to honk as they passed to keep Evelyn's name alive. They also plan to be outside every day during that trial.
We have got both positive and negative reactions today. We don't care about the negative. Like I said, we're out here to support a little girl that did not get that support when she was alive. So it's important to us that we show that support now for her in any way we can. So we've got a lot more positive than we have negative today.
Now, the group has been making comfort bags for the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office for children that are involved in abusive situations.
Abusive situations. All right. Evidence, trash can, very disturbing information. It's sad it had to come to this. Once again, a child being abused, neglected, nobody really caring about the child. Queen is avid right fighter for the kids. My thing is, as I have said before, there are many people who have children, can't raise the children for whatever reason, but there's just no reasoning for murdering a child. And someone wanted to write me a Dear Jane letter under the comments. I don't do all that Dear Jane stuff. I don't want to hear anything about Megan Boswell and what she went through. Everybody has a story. Everybody has a journey. Everybody has had some trouble in their lives. Some people, as I said, have had children they couldn't raise for whatever reason, mental reasons. They went to jail, incarcerated, drugs, alcohol, broke the law, whatever. I don't want to hear it. My thing is this: she could have given her baby up for adoption. She could have asked somebody else to help raise her kid, keep her kid. Maybe she had actual support. Her dizzy ass mother, who all she cares about smoking drugs and chasing younger men. Maybe the baby would still be alive today. But in the end, you still can't make a person, connect to a child. I don't know Megan Boswell. I don't know what she was going through. I do know she had a turbulent life with her parents. They were very, volatile people, drug addicts. So I didn't expect much from her. But the point is, you can change your life, you can change the direction of your life, but you have to do the work. Once you become grown, people don't really contend with what you got going on and care what you have going on. People in the street don't care what you have going on. When you meet people every day, you don't have time to worry about what happened to them as a child and a teenager. You're only dealing with the person at hand. So when she's out here, before she went to jail, she's out here navigating. A lot of people didn't know her or what she had going on, or that she was troubled and couldn't raise her kid, or that she was also a nasty bugger, filthy ass trailer. They didn't know that. Only people knew that are people who fooled with her. Okay? Common sense. It's just absolutely ridiculous to make excuses. But the one thing I'm not getting ready to listen to, any BS about baby daddy wasn't there, baby daddy didn't help. All that shit is the same stuff we hear every day with everybody breathing. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of women, probably millions of women who raised children on their own. They had sex with a man. There was no love. There was no camaraderie. There was no companionship. She got knocked up and she had to raise her kid. What's your point? I don't give a damn about Ethan Perry. It takes two to tango. And if we're going to believe this nonsense of she was raising her brothers and sisters because her mother kept spitting out kids like Skittles, then that should have given her more incentive to say, hey, I don't want any kids. I'm taking care of these children at this house with my mom. I don't want any children. Let me get some birth control pills. Let me take some birth control. Hey, dude, you need to use a condom. We all have to stand account for our actions. That's just the way it is. We have to stand account for what we do in life. So that's just that. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for somebody, you know, who broke a baby's arm and killed a baby and wrapped foil around her head and stuffed her in a trash bag. I don't care about what a baby daddy did and didn't do. We also learned through court testimony that guy's not even the baby daddy. It's neither here nor there at this point. We're talking about a dead kid. So you can weigh it however you want. That baby's not coming back. That baby didn't know no more than what she was exposed to. You understand what I'm saying? That's common sense. She didn't know no more than what she was exposed to, which was pure filth and God knows what else. And if you got a baby's arm broke, there's no telling what else that baby endured by Megan and God knows whomever else and whomever else she had around the kids. We don't really know how the other family members treated the kid. Nobody's going to go on a live camera and say, oh, yeah, I mistreated, I pinched the kid, I shoved the kid. Who's going to tell that? And if you see the pictures from court of how nasty that trailer was, are you serious? You want to sit here and debate about who's on first, who's on second? It doesn't matter. You can't make somebody love you. You can't make somebody like you. You can't make somebody be a parent. You can't make somebody help. That is life. You have to deal with the hand that's been given to you. And lots of people have a story, but you just don't get a fucking free pass because your parents mistreated you or your parents didn't care for you. Then you go have a kid and then you murder the kid. And now I am supposed to feel sorry for you because you had a fucked up life. And that excuses you murdering a baby. Are you serious? I don't do that type of nonsense. So if you're looking for that type of empathy at this network, you're not going to get it over here. Because everybody has a story. Right there is a prime example. Let me stop it right there. You see that picture right there? Let me blow it up. Since somebody wants to go on in the comments about what Megan went through and not having help from a baby daddy, what the fuck does it have to do with the baby being stuffed in there? I'll wait. Bad parents. Let me kill my kid. Oh, my boyfriend don't like me. I'm lying about the baby daddy. Don't know who the baby daddy is. I know who the baby daddy is, but I want this one to be the baby daddy. But I killed my baby and put it in a trash bag. Are we done? Are we done? I have no empathy for her. And I don't have any empathy for anybody else that was around her that saw that the trailer was nasty and saw that she lived in filth and hung around her and saw that she didn't treat her baby well and the baby smelled like urine and had a bad diaper rash. I was listening to that last night in my sleep. The babysitter, the older lady, talked about how bad the diaper rash was. Well, gee, let me think about this for a second. How did you think that happened to the child's rear end? How did the baby's rear end get so bad to where the lady said she had sores on her rump? Don't you know the child would have been irritated back there? The lady also said they said there were scratch marks in the sores. So can you imagine a child scratching at her rear because it's raw? Have you ever had a raw bottom? And her private part probably was raw too, because they're all connected. The diaper is on your frontal and your backside. So she's probably itching her whole frontal, back, legs, all of that. But oh, she had a horrible life, her mom. Oh, the baby daddy didn't want her. Oh, the baby daddy didn't want to be a father, blah, blah, blah. Join the living. Join the living. I want to say it for the last time. Many women give birth to children without a partner accessible or involved in the life of the child or the wife, girlfriend, whomever. You have to navigate and move forward. It does not give you the right to abuse your child, neglect your child, or murder your child. If you feel like you are in sinking sand, then you need to seek mental help. But breaking arms and legs and suffocating children is not the answer. I'm going to go to my community page. Check the polls, everybody, pertaining to Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and Taylor Swift. Got a lot going on. Got a lot going on. A lot going on. We're going to go to Arizona right now. Terrible plane crash. Private jets collided on a runway. One person is deceased, 3 people injured, and 1 person is still trapped inside of the aircraft. Okay, so latest coming out of Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm going to show you a visual of the plane crash. Okay, thank you for joining me. Arizona Family News is the source of this next information. Hold on, everybody. Wait 1 second. Get this content loaded up here. Well, no, it's no excuse, Cornbread. None. I don't want to hear that drama about what she went through and the baby daddy wasn't there and all that bullshit. Just about every woman has that damn story. They don't have a boyfriend or husband helping them with kids. Come on. Just stop it. Getting down the runway and hit that other jet. What the hell happened? Not paying attention? What happened? Very weird information. Let's get down to business. Second part of the live, everybody. Bringing you the latest information and updates pertaining to the Scottsdale, Arizona crash and also Megan Boswell. Feel free to discuss both commentary throughout this live stream. It's just, I don't know what's going on with these aircrafts.
And prayers are going out to everybody in the aviation community that this affects. Today at approximately 14:39, we had a mid-size business jet upon arrival collide with another mid-size business jet that was parked on private property. Our runway is currently closed and will remain closed for the foreseeable future. We'll have more information on that as it is available. For right now, I'm going to turn it over to our PIO of the fire department, Dave Folio, so that he can provide additional information about the emergency response. We do have PD, fire, and the FAA all currently on scene assessing the situation.
First and foremost, on behalf of the city of Scottsdale and the Scottsdale Fire Department, our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody involved in this incident. My name is Captain Dave Folio. I'm a public information officer with the city of Scottsdale Fire Department. What I can tell you is we're at 14960 North 78th Way, Scottsdale Air Park. At 1439, we received an alert 3 at our aircraft station that's located here on the airport. At 1440, foam 609 arrived on scene and basically gave the same report that you just heard, had the small jet into another jet off the runway. We have we requested additional alarms. When the alert 3 went out, that basically gives us a first alarm assignment to the scene. We requested additional hazmat units just to do metering in the surrounding buildings attached or to the area of that location. They went in and got an all clear of the structures and metered the structures with 0 readings. I can tell you that we have 5 souls, 1 DOA, 2 immediates that have been transported to local trauma centers, 1 delayed stable to a local hospital, and this is a still active scene. We're still working on extricating 1 soul out of one of the airplanes. I'm not going to answer any questions while this is an active scene that's going to be under investigation. We're going to look forward to giving you an update on once the scene is not active and probably around 6 o'clock. So we'll give you more details then, but that's all we have right now. And we're not going to answer any questions. So once again, our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody involved in this on behalf of the city of Scottsdale, the fire department, the police department, Glendale, and everybody else that's out here working this. We've got our automatic aid partners out here currently working this scene, and we're doing everything we can to extricate and save the 1 soul that's still on board. So thank you.
Effects today
Extricate 1 soul on it. This was after 2 o'clock. So have they been able to get the person out of the aircraft? Sweet Jesus. Now, from what I showed you in that video, neither plane went up in smoke or caught on fire, to my understanding. Neither one were, I don't know, crushed in. So I'm trying to figure out why you couldn't get the 1 person out of the plane. Just asking. Is it a male or female? Is it a pilot? Flight attendant? Prayers for all affected. Prayers to the family members of the person who is deceased, dead on arrival, the others that are injured. This is a very serious situation. I tried reaching out to a friend of mine who she just logged out of Facebook, because she's like me, tired of all the BS on Facebook. And we spoke day before yesterday. She logged off of Facebook. I'm trying to reach her only because I know she is a airline stewardess and she flies private jets. So I'd like to know if she is safe or not, because hearing this news tonight is very devastating and very scary. And I'm praying for her because she now does private flying. So I'd like to get some information about this. These 2 jets that were on the ground out there in Arizona. Once again, my condolences to the person who has passed away. Prayers for those who are injured. What the hell happened here? I don't think I can take any more of these plane crashes. I've talked about this many times, just in conversation to people about private planes, jets, smaller aircrafts. I don't care for smaller planes because they tend to be the ones that fall out of the sky. Just saying. You rarely hear of bigger planes falling out of the sky until the recent plane crash in D.C. with the Black Hawk. But usually when you hear planes crashing in the United States, they're usually smaller aircrafts. Why they tend to fall out of the sky, I have no idea, but it's scary nonetheless. So what happened? This wasn't a plane that fell out of the sky or lifted off from the airport and fell back down. This one was coming in for a landing, and you just came in. I'm trying to understand, if you've done this many times, flying into an airport on the tarp, how do you run into another aircraft? Help the queen understand, because I'm confused. I'm just I'm not trying to make light of this, but this is very confusing to me. How do you come in for a landing and just keep zooming down the tarp and poof, hit a whole damn airplane? And this is during the daylight savings time. This isn't at night. It's not fogging. It's not raining. It's not snowing. Help us understand. Help us understand what happened.
This is a feast like you.
Did you fall asleep? Nod off? Phone ring. Let me guess. Got a notification from Facebook. Yeah, I'm being cynical now. What the hell happened? Medical alert? What?
Scottsdale Airport. One person is killed, several others injured after a plane crashes into another plane on the ground.
That's right. 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra is there live at the scene. And Gabby, what have you learned so far?
Well, Troy Caribe, this is still a massive police presence here at the Scottsdale Airport. Behind you, you can see just dozens of flashing lights right in front of the Southwest Jet Center. That's where we're told a mid-sized business jet veered off the runway upon landing and collided with another mid-sized business jet that was parked on private property. We just got an update from Scottsdale Fire Captain Dave Folio in about the last 15 minutes or so, who tells us 5 people were involved in this crash. We've learned 1 person died instantly, 2 people had critical injuries, 1 person with stable injuries, and they were all transported to the hospital. 1 person at this time is still trapped on the plane, but it's unclear what condition they are in. Take a listen.
This is still active scene. We're still working on extricating one soul out of one of the airplanes.
Now, all this happened around 2:45 this afternoon, so you can see that this is just an active scene. When we first arrived, all of these emergency crews were trying to get to those planes.
5:55 out there.
What exactly happened here, and that's something the FAA is also still working to figure out. We know that the fire department had called in hazmat crews, but they were able to clear the air. In the meantime, the FAA is temporarily pausing all flights into the Scottsdale Airport. We are working to get more information on what exactly happened here. We know that officials are expecting to give us another update in just about an hour, and we'll share that with you when we have it. Back to you guys.
Gabby, they were described as mid-sized business jets. Do we have any idea which businesses these jets were affiliated with, or maybe even any individuals?
At this time, we do not have any information on who these jets belong to, or if there were people on both of the jets at the time of the crash. That's something we are working to get more information on.
All right, Gabby, thank you. Appreciate it. Let's bring in Chris now. Obviously, a meteorologist, but also a private pilot for many years. Tell us what you know about these 2 planes.
Yeah, well, one was a Lear 35A, and the other is a Gulfstream 200. Both very commonly used private jets, used for transport, sometimes for medical transport. I've flown in and out of the Scottsdale Airport a number of times, and it has a single runway. So with one on the ground and one landing, you would have to surmise that the landing aircraft, something happened to it that caused it to veer off the runway and crash into the parked airplane. At least that's what we know.
Right, because they said that the parked plane was on private property. It wasn't on the runway.
It could have been in a non-controlled area of the ground.
I can give you a picture, everybody. CBS News is a source. Take a good look at this picture. So the smaller plane is the one that did the crashing, I guess. So when you look at it, it looks like that would be the pilot side of the plane. I'm assuming that the pilot is flying on the left side of the plane. So is that the person that's trapped inside, or is it a passenger? Who's trapped inside of the airplane? Right now, it is 8:57 Eastern Standard Time. Arizona time is about, 2 to 3 hours behind. So have they retrieved the person out of the jet? Skid it off the runway. Lordy, 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 Lordy. Here's a visual. As you can see, bigger plane, smaller plane, it looks like, I guess. Just from this picture. The one standing up looks bigger, so, I don't know. But what happened? This is getting old now, 2 weeks in. This airplane helicopter nonsense. Big boy, little boy. What the hell is going on? You all are crashing planes at night. You're crashing planes during the day. How are you skidding off the runway? They said it's a narrow path. Well, maybe you all need to widen the path. Just saying. I mean, you're going to have different size aircrafts landing at an airport, then maybe you need to get a wider air landing. Just giving you all a visual of the two that crashed, or one crashed into the other one, rather. Let's finish hearing what the news has to say about this debacle.
So they wouldn't necessarily have to be ground control, or if it was parked on a ramp.
Hello, Don.
Many of the ramp areas are owned by the private businesses that are around the airport. But it can be a very busy place, and Scottsdale is a home for a lot of private jets coming in and out.
Yeah.
When you hear about extrication happening on a jet like this, I would imagine that's a very difficult operation. Does it have only one door in and out?
Typically, they have two. The main entrance door, and then there's some sort of an emergency exit. You know, if you've ever flown on a commercial jet, they'll say that there are emergency exits over the wings.
Well, you just have to pray, Sky.
We'll have an emergency exit, or even a cargo door that can be accessed from the cabin, depending on the configuration and depending on the.
So is the door on this side?
Some video right
the
now.
door, is it on that side?
Just from your knowledge of this airport, can you kind of give us an idea of just kind of what we're looking at, what location?
Well, the Gulfstream is the one on the left, the Learjet is the one on the right. And so the one on the left, the Gulfstream, was probably parked there, and the Learjet was landing. It's kind of difficult to say at this point. And the winds would favor runway 23, or 21, which would be landing towards the southwest. So coming in over the area of the golf course in Scottsdale and that big bend in the Loop 101, and then landing towards the southwest in Scottsdale.
And you don't want to speculate too much here, but what are some of the things, some of the problems you can have on a jet like this, landing or taking off, that would cause you to veer off the runway?
One could be a blown tire. That can commonly happen. These jets have thrust reversers, these clamshell devices that reverse the thrust to help them slow down. Sometimes you can have an asymmetric thrust reverser deployment, which can cause directional control, which
Lord have mercy.
A FOD, foreign object, can get into the engine and cause the engine to fail, and that can cause directional control issues. So there are a number of things that they will be looking at. Maybe the brakes failed on one side when they went to brake, and they could have swerved and veered off the runway. They'll be looking at a lot of these things, but again, Troy, like you said, it is not really the time to speculate, because there will be a lot of speculation, as with any aircraft accident that happens. But the investigators will go in and they'll look at everything, even some things that may be apparent to an observer or appear to be obvious. It may be completely opposite. So we just need to let the investigators do their job and just pray for the victims.
Yeah, we do know that one was deceased on arrival, yes, and two more immediately transported to the hospital, and then one being extricated. So still a very developing situation.
How long do you expect the airport to be shut down by something like this? Do you think until they get those planes moved?
Lord of mercy.
Hours could be.
Yeah, it's probably going to be for the rest of the day. I would just, again, speculate on what they're looking at, and they don't need the added distraction of planes coming in, landing, taking off. There's a lot of flight training that goes on in Scottsdale, so they just want to minimize that distraction and just isolate
flight training.
And
my goodness.
Right, and what we do know at this time is that about 3 o'clock or so, we have the video here, if we could pull that up. We do know that two mid-sized business jets, one that was coming in for landing, one that was parked, did collide with each other. According to fire officials, they say that one person was dead on arrival. There were two that were sent to the hospital immediately.
Wow.
And also needed extrication for another. And then another person was in stable condition there. So again, a lot of things we don't know. We don't know who were on these planes. We don't know the condition of those that were injured or how this happened. We do know that the FAA is there on scene. They are joined by the fire department as well as the police department, trying to figure out exactly what happened in this accident.
Yeah, and with the size of these jets, Chris, I would imagine we're pretty fortunate we're only talking about 5 people here, right? I mean, because I would imagine that both of these jets can carry quite a few people, or more than 5.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the passenger numbers for each of these, but 5 to 7, generally speaking, on
that's
jets
too
of
many.
these sizes. as I mentioned, the Learjet 35A is extensively used in medical evacuation. So sometimes they are configured to carry only 3 or 4 personnel plus a stretcher.
Oh, Lordy.
It depends on the configuration and how many people are actually on board. But yes, we're talking about 5, 6, maybe 7 passengers at the most, including the 2 crew members up front.
But enough about us.
Brief intermission. All right, everybody, weigh in. Once again, check out my shorts pertaining to the Super Bowl last night, Kendrick Lamar's performance, his beef with Drake, the booing of Taylor Swift. Check out my shorts and my live stream earlier today. Those videos are now uploaded to YouTube Q, and I also have a video or 2 uploaded over on the Newsbreak app. Download that app where you get breaking news in your area, United States and abroad. Keep you updated. So those of you who don't watch YouTube, you can also get, notifications of breaking news, as I said, in your area. Just punch in your area where you live. Let's say you live in Scottsdale, Arizona. You put that in there, type it in, and then that location is set, and you'll get notifications for Arizona, if that's where you live, or New York, or wherever. And you also can check out the Queen, the Vault XL. I'm over there on that app as well, bringing you breaking news with commentary. Lord have mercy, what is to become of these airplanes? I don't know. It's not looking good. That's all I can say. It's not looking good at all.
Response from Scottsdale Fire. One of the things that I think is really interesting when you cover firefighters who were stationed there at airports, they have very specialized apparatus, correct, that they use. I mean, some of these fire units can do 70 or 80 miles an hour on these runways. So they have to get to certain locations in a very short order, right?
Yeah, and fires out. And many of these airports do have, they're called ARF, in Airport Rescue and Firefighting. And they have dedicated units that are specifically dedicated to events like this, hazmat situation, and aircraft crashes on the ground, or any other situations that might happen on the airport property.
I think you're looking at one of the specialized, if you look to the left of the left plane, that kind of green unit, green yellowish unit, I believe that's one of those specialized trucks, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so.
And they carry their own water, and they can shoot it a long ways, and it's very specialized. They have foam, all sorts of things that they can get some of that.
Right, and if they knew there was a problem coming in, they could foam the runways and help aid and prepare for something like this. Again, we don't know what happened and what caused the one aircraft to veer off the runway when they were landing. And landing speeds are typically 100 knots or greater, which is about 110, 115 miles an hour. So it's going at a pretty high rate of speed.
Yeah, he was rolling.
Happens and it goes off the runway and it hits something, there's a lot of force involved.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this one related in at least one fatality.
Chris, it's great to have your expertise, but it's not lost on me that this is the second time in just a matter of a couple of weeks that you've had to come on and give us some analysis on some sort of aircraft accident or disaster. Most recently, the plane in DC. A lot of anxiety right now, I know, for folks when it comes around flying.
Philadelphia
things like
too.
this
It's
certainly don't help.
ridiculous.
And maybe looking at the tower issues, like DC is planes not seeing each other. That doesn't appear to be the case here. Again, you don't want to get too far ahead of what's going on.
Right. And it's so easy to speculate with any.
So they've got some type of artillery out there. Hopefully that'll be something they use to get the plane pulled away from the other jet.
The other one was clear of any controlled airport surface area. We call it a non-controlled area on the field. So one airplane was just sitting there parked, and another one came in. Something obviously happened, caused them to lose directional control on the runway. They veered off and they crashed into the parked plane. Similar to if you were driving down the freeway and maybe you were stopped at a stoplight and another car came through, lost control, and they crashed into you. Through no fault of your own, they came crashing in, and things happen.
Right, and we don't know if there were any passengers that was parked. I think we do know there were at least 5 on the plane that was coming in for landing. The conditions of those passengers, we do know one was deceased on arrival. That is according to Scottsdale Fire. Then there were 2 others who were rushed to the hospital, another in stable condition, and then a 5th that was being extricated. So we don't know. At this point, we haven't gotten word yet if that person has eventually been extricated and what their condition is.
Yeah, you can only imagine what that operation is like. And the front of the plane, which probably took the front of the impact, is not visible from our angle that we're being able to see right here. But maybe, you've got a crumpled, they're mostly aluminum, Chris, that they're made out of. What are they made out of?
Aluminum frame. Some are carbon fiber, but jets of this size would be mostly out of aluminum.
Okay.
Lighter material.
So we know that the runway is closed there at Scottsdale Airport. So Chris, what's happening with the planes that are coming in that are supposed to be landing at Scottsdale Airport?
Probably diverting to other airports in the area. You can divert to, if you're flying in a jet, probably Deer Valley Airport, even Sky Harbor, Chandler Airport, depending on the needs of the jet, maybe Mesa Gateway Airport. I've been involved in a couple of, in my commercial flying, we've had crashes happen on the runway where we were advised, hey, the runway is closed, say intentions. And so we had to make a split decision of, okay, we have to divert to this airport or that airport, and quickly on the fly, no pun intended, make that decision on where to go. And we always have that alternate in mind. So if there is a jet that's in the air that was planning to land at Scottsdale, most likely they're not in the air anymore, because this has happened. Well, we're looking at about 2.5 hours ago. But if they were in the air and they would be advised that the runway is closed, they might even offer up, air traffic control might even offer up alternate suggestions. Hey, if you can't land at Scottsdale, can you take Deer Valley? Can you take Sky Harbor? Can you land at Mesa Gateway Airport? Can you land in Goodyear? What are you willing to take here? And then they would just, take it from there.
Yeah. And Chris, as someone who flies, what do you think things like this? I mean, is this, not that I'm saying it's routine for you, but I mean, is it just, how do you feel?
Yeah, it's always a bad feeling when you see a mishap happening involving airplanes and aviation, something that you truly love, and have a deeper knowledge of things when they go wrong. And with a lot of incidents that we have happen, often it's a time for us to learn on what not to do, as much as it is what to do. And some things are certainly out of our control. Things happen. And this may be a case of where it could be a blown tire on landing, or there was a structural failure of some component of the aircraft that caused the pilots to lose control and crash into something else on the ground.
Yeah.
So we just don't know at this point.
All right.
Well, buckle in.
Brief intermission, everybody. What happened? What happened? What happened? Oh my goodness. The NTSB has been very busy with the FAA. They're both locked in together with these crashes, and it's just very scary right now. If you're a pilot, if you're a stewardess, you're a patron, hell, you're on the ground. Either way, it's a very, very scary situation. This is just unheard of information that's coming, that keeps popping up in the past 2 weeks pertaining to aircrafts and wrecks. And once again, prayers to all those who have passed away, prayers to those family members, the communities. This is just devastating news. Who are these people who are injured, and the one that's deceased and the one that's on the plane? Were they able to get the one person off the plane? Because we're now talking about a couple of hours now. Were they able to get the person off the plane? What is the state of the person? Because you have to use common sense. The longer the person is sitting there on the aircraft and, God forbid, pinned in, crushed in, that could be affecting his or her moment of life to survive. So have they gotten the person off of the flight? Okay. That's the latest. Oh, Lordy, 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 Lordy. That's the plane there. I'm surprised nobody is showing the aircraft when they had the wreck. There's some breaking news pertaining to the Super Bowl. I might come back on here in a few minutes to do another live pertaining to the Super Bowl. A dancer has been banned from the NFL Super Bowl for life because of showing the flag of Sudan. 1 second, let's see here. The person won't be facing charges, but they have been banned from all NFL stadiums and events. There was a flag that read Gaza and Sudan. Well, I'm assuming that Mr. Kendrick Lamar orchestrated that, don't you think? Don't you think he gave his approval pertaining to what he wanted at this event, this Super Bowl? Most of you may not know, but people who perform at the Super Bowl do not get paid by the NFL. They get paid by the union, which pays a fee of about $1,000 a day for rehearsals. But all the special effects, costumes, dancers, those type of things is paid by the NFL. And the dancers also get paid about $45 an hour to perform for training and practices, rehearsals. So just in case if you did not know that, the NFL does not pay the performer. So Kendrick Lamar, Rihanna, all the people who have performed in all the many years, they do not get paid by the NFL. They get paid by a union fee, which is, I said, $1,000 a day plus flight cost to fly. I don't know if they pay for their hotel or their eating expenses, but the union pays them a fee of about $1,000 a day, and pay also the dancers $45 an hour for rehearsals. So naturally, when you look at all the things that went on during the Super Bowl last night, that's a lot of dancers, a lot of practices, a lot of rehearsals. So, $45 an hour, depending on if you're doing 5 a day, 5 hours a day, you make a few little dollars a week, Big, you live in LA, rent's high out there. So you can make $1,000 or more a week. Hey, that's some good little spending change, It is what it is. Take it as you will. But that's the latest events coming out of Los Angeles. I'm going to bring you an update. I'll probably go live when I cut this live off. I'll come back live number 3. I'm not getting a break worth nothing, I tell you. But oh, mercy, mercy, mercy. You're going to have to cite Kendrick Lamar, because you can't cite the dancer. The dancer doesn't have any control over what they exhibit during the live. Now, if they ran out and pulled their pants down or drawers down, pulled their bra up or something, that'd be different. But them waving the flag, somebody told them to wave that flag. They just did what was told of them in the performance. So if you're going to cite that person, you might as well cite Kendrick Lamar. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not going to sit here and believe some dancer at the last minute ran over to Canal Street and got a damn Sudan and Gaza flag. So we're going to keep this real. So there you have it. Hello, Perspective. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate it. Thanks for the love. But yeah, we're going to keep this real. Kendrick Lamar is going to have to stand account. You can't put it off on the dancer. There's no way I'm going to sit here and blame the dancer for no damn flags, because they've rehearsed this, and you got to think about it. The Super Bowl comes once a year. It is no telling how long it took to perform and do the rehearsals. So anything added during, after, it was approved by Kendrick Lamar. So you can't just ban the dancers. You got to ban his ass too. Yeah, let's keep this real, because he had to approve those flags. So I'm not going to sit here and think this person, hauled a damn flag all the way from Los Angeles on a damn plane. Oh, hey, you don't mind if I pick these up, do you? Kendrick, you mind if I show these Gaza and Sudan flags? He's the one with the image. He's the one with the message. So while he's making these slick ass disses to Drake, he approved those flags. So I think that was fucked up. You're just going to cite the one person and say, well, you're not allowed to come back to any NFL events, stadiums. No. So hell yeah, I'm coming back live for live number 3. Coming back for live number 3. And we can chop it up. Matter of fact, I'm going to put up a poll and we're going to dissect that situation. These are the latest events pertaining to this aircraft in Scottsdale, Arizona. There was a crash. A jet collided into another aircraft on the runway. Don't know what happened, but one person is deceased, 3 others injured, and then we allegedly have one person was inside of the aircraft, and I do not know if that person has been extricated out of the plane. I was checking while I've been letting this live roll, but I haven't gotten any information that a person has made it out. I will check one more time before I end this live stream. So that's 1 hour ago. $40 minutes ago. Let me see what they have 40 minutes ago by USA Today. And as you see, they've got some artillery there, I guess, to pull that plane out of the other plane. So hopefully they can get those planes undetached. Well, they are apart, I see. Well, I thought. Or was he just parked near a plane? I'm not sure. Let's see. So a Learjet arriving from Austin veered off the runway into a parked jet. The arriving plane's left main gear appeared to have failed upon landing, causing the collision, Questor said. The Scottsdale Airport is located 22 miles northeast of Phoenix. Let's see. On Monday afternoon, Captain Dave Folio, spokesperson for the Scottsdale Fire Department, confirmed the death, 4 injuries, adding that 2 people are in critical condition. Folio said the runway is an active investigation scene. A Learjet 35A veered off the runway after landing and crashed into a Gulfstream 200 business jet on the ramp at Scottsdale Municipal Airport in Arizona around 2:45. The Federal Aviation Administration confirmed in a statement there were 4 people on board the Learjet. Okay. So there were 4 people on the jet that landed and crashed, and 1 person was on the Gulfstream. So that means the one on the ground already, which is the Gulfstream, only 1 person was in that. So I'm assuming perhaps a pilot or maybe somebody working on the plane was on the plane. Not sure, they haven't told us yet. Authorities said the FAA National Transportation Safety Board will investigate the crash. NTSB will also lead the investigation, provide updates of the incident. Breaking news, USA Today is the source, everybody. Oh, Lord. I just don't know what to say. What they need to do is pay the cheerleader more money. Those ladies get shortchanged. They work so hard. Yes, they do.
North Dakota, South Dakota, they were starting in Florida. And
so my question is, with a plane that old, 94, and there are 500 some Learjet 35A still in service, could the age of that plane be a factor in this?
Every single aircraft in the United States has to undergo an annual inspection. So in order to be considered airworthy. So if it's up there and it's flying, in theory, it has to undergo an annual inspection where they look at everything. They look at all the systems, all the components, and certain aircraft have components that they have to look at with a fine-tooth comb, like a borescope inspection of the engines every 500 hours or so, or the FAA will put limits on those.
So presumably any plane that's in the air, whether it's old, like a Learjet 35A, or it's newer plane like the Gulfstream 200, would have the same efficiency, mechanical efficiency, or they're not allowed to fly.
Well, and that is also up to the mechanics that inspect and sign off on those inspections. But yes, the same amount of scrutiny goes into every one of those inspections. For example, when I was doing flight training and I was training students, we flew airplanes that were 50, almost 60 years old. And at first glance, you might say, I wouldn't want to go up in one of those, but it is inspected very thoroughly and deemed to be safe. And I'm still here. So
Right.
Yeah, well, that's good.
They were, yes.
That's good to hear.
Chris, I know you just heard the air traffic control communication for the first time right here on the air. Is there anything that stood out to you about what you heard?
It sounded like there were 2 training aircraft in the pattern. Career Track and Aviator are 2 of the call signs for large flight schools in the area.
Okay.
So they were training. They were probably doing touch and goes. And the tower was just trying to get them out of the area and not involved. Expect to go around. You're not going to land here. Okay. Basically, they were saying without saying that the airport is closed, and we gotta deal with this right now.
Okay, so it didn't really give us any clues into how that accident happened, just
No, not
the
necessarily.
after communication
Exactly.
with the other aircraft.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
All right, and we're going to the press conference at any moment, so I don't want to cut you off. Okay, we're going to go to it right now. This is the this press conference talking about the accident this afternoon at Scottsdale Airport.
Just update everybody. Brief intermission. Oh, Lordy. Well, as I said about the NFL, they do not pay the entertainers money. They get paid by the union. The sponsors is for the NFL and commercials during the NFL, the Super Bowl. So just like this commercial, they pay the NFL money to be in between the game and commercial breaks. But my understanding is that the NFL does not pay the entertainers such as Kendrick Lamar. He made his money from the union. The union pays he and the dancers. And if you need verification, feel free to Google.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gary Mascaro. I'm the aviation director here at the Scottsdale Airport. I wanted to just let you know about our incident. I'm going to hand it off to two professionals to provide you some more details. On behalf of the city of Scottsdale, the Scottsdale Airport, our thoughts and prayers for the individuals on the aircraft. It's certainly a tragedy that occurred. The fire department, the police department, airport operations did a fantastic job responding to the incident immediately, foaming down the aircraft to prevent additional fire, to protect the property and the lives of the interested parties, as well as folks around the facility that occurred. I'm going to introduce you to Kelly Keister. She's our public information officer. That's going to provide some more specific detail by airport operations. And then we'll hand it off to Dave Folio. He is the PIO for the Scottsdale Fire Department to provide you additional information as well. Thank you.
Again, thank you everyone for your patience and for being here with us this evening. As a lot of you may already know, but I just want to confirm the details of what happened today. At 14:39, a Learjet aircraft on its arrival from Austin veered off the runway and collided with another jet, a Gulfstream 200 aircraft that was parked. It appears that the left main gear failed upon landing, resulting in the accident. The National Transportation Safety Board is on scene. They will be taking over the investigation at this point. The runway remains closed at this time. Any additional information we have about when our reopening will be shared as soon as possible.
Let's go back there and hear what they said happened. Hold on.
Transportation Safety Board is on scene. They will be taking over the investigation. Arrival from Austin.
For the Scottsdale Fire Department.
Again, thank you everyone for your patience and for being here with us this evening. As a lot of you may already know, but I just want to confirm the details of what happened today. At 14:39, a Learjet aircraft on its arrival from Austin veered off the runway and collided with another jet, a Gulfstream 200 aircraft that was parked. It appears that the left main gear failed upon landing, resulting in the accident.
Left main
gear. The National
gear.
Transportation Safety Board is on scene. They will be taking over the investigation at this point. The runway remains closed at this time. Any additional information we have about when our reopening will be shared as soon as possible. And now I'd like to turn over to Dave Folio. Thank you.
I'm Captain Dave Folio with the City of Scottsdale Fire Department, Public Information Officer. We're currently at Scottsdale Airport. That's 14960 North 78th Way. At 14:39 today, we received alert 3 at our Scottsdale Station 609. That's our fire station here on the airport. And Foam 609 responded. In 14:40, 1 minute later, Foam 609 arrived on scene. And as stated, a small jet into another larger jet. We upon alert 3, that's basically a first alarm assignment for us. So we have Glendale Fire, Phoenix Fire, and Scottsdale Fire that all responded to this scene to assist us. We had 5 patients we treated. 1 was a fatality. We had 2 immediates that were transported to local trauma centers. We had 1 delayed patient and then 1 patient that refused treatment. We brought in additional hazmat units to clear the buildings, surrounding buildings, and get it all clear in those structures. And they also metered those structures and got 0 readings in those structures. I won't be answering any additional questions, and our thoughts and prayers from the city of Scottsdale, the Scottsdale Fire Department, and the Scottsdale Police Department go out to everybody involved in this. Thank you. No, that wasn't the refusal. That was an immediate transported to a local trauma center in critical condition. We have 1 fatality still in one of the planes. They were dead on arrival. Thank you.
All right, you've been listening to this.
We're not going to go into specifics. We're going to turn this over to the National Transportation Safety Board of what patients were in what planes. All right, thank you guys.
So
Brief intermission, everybody. So what do you think about the latest information? Left landing gear was not operating correctly, which is believed to be the cause of this collision on the ground.
Captain Dave Folio with Scottsdale Fire. I'll tell you, over the last 3 weeks, if you are squeamish about flying, this doesn't help because this has already made national news. And probably because of the rash of accidents that we've seen lately. But Chris, if you're just tuning in, not only our meteorologist, but a pilot, an accomplished pilot with many, many hours, upon landing, which can be very hairy on a good day, you're hitting the runway and then your landing gear fails, which they just pointed out.
Right.
There was a failure of the landing gear, which caused the plane to veer off to the left and slam into the Gulf Stream. At that point, as a pilot, what are you trained to do if your landing gear fails?
You know, there's not much that we put into training as far as a landing gear fails. You try to do your best to maintain control. The only control that you
Dead on the way
at
to the
that
hospital,
point
Don.
is with the rudder and enough airflow over the rudder to have any small bit of directional control. Or if you have nose wheel steering, you might have a little bit of control that way. But if you're coming in at that high rate of speed, at the landing speed that a Learjet is landing, and the left main collapses, that's going to put that wing down on the ground, and you're going to violently veer off to the
So
side.
it would be like if you're on the 101 and you're going 75 or 80 miles an hour and you blow your left front tire.
Probably even worse than that.
Well, obviously, because you're going faster, but I mean, the same sort of a thing. You're just sort of a helpless passenger at that point.
Yeah, and then some, because not only would you lose the tire, but you lose the entire landing gear mechanism. It sounds like it collapsed or it failed. So that whole side of the airplane, boom, falls to the ground.
Wow.
The wingtip would be scraping on the runway surface, and it would violently turn off to the left side.
All right. I want to bring in 12 News journalist Bianca Bono. Bianca, you've been you've been keeping track of the owners of these aircraft. Have you received any statements from them?
We have. So just to recap, the plane that we keep showing you there that's white, it looks like it has some flames on the edge. That is the Learjet plane. That was the plane that they just mentioned was flying in from Austin, previously came from Fort Lauderdale. That plane, the registered owner is a company called Chromed in Hollywood, Inc. The owner of that company is Vince Neil, the frontman of Motley Crue. Again, we just want to be abundantly clear that we don't know if Vince Neil was on that plane today, but he is the owner of that plane. The second plane, the Gulfstream, is owned by a company called Jet Pros. According to their website, it appears they have a number of services they offer, including chartering out private planes to folks. We do have a statement from Jet Pros. We'll read part of it for you. It says, our plane, a Gulfstream 200 business jet, was parked on the ramp when it was hit by a Learjet 35 at around 2:45 p.m. local time. There were no injuries on board the Gulfstream, but external damages were sustained to the aircraft. And I believe they said they're cooperating with airport authorities and, of course, express their condolences to those involved. But that clears that up, that there were no injuries on that Gulfstream.
All right, Bianca, thank you for that.
Chris, thank you for your insight and expertise. I hate the fact that we're relying on you for this because it says that not only are we asking you weather, but we're asking you to cover tragedies.
And in the second time, in just a matter of a week or so, a couple of weeks,
And sometimes it's just coincidence that a string of these things happen because we've had a long string of safe days and years in the airline industry.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk to you about maybe some rain moving in a little bit. Yes. All right. We'll do. Chris, thank you, Bianca. Thanks.
Okay, everybody. Weigh in. What do you think? Motley Crue. So, interesting. When was the last time the plane was serviced? You have to ask all those questions, as you heard earlier in the commentary. When was the plane serviced? Any problems beforehand? Adequate flying training by the pilots? When was the last time the pilot flew a plane? Got to ask all those questions. With the latest developments coming out pertaining to this flag business at the Super Bowl last night, I asked you all questions pertaining to Kendrick Lamar's dancer being banned for flying the Sudan Gaza flag. Was it right, wrong, don't care, unsure? Take the poll. I'm trying to put up another poll pertaining to Kendrick Lamar. Should he also be banned from NFL event Super Bowl? Okay, take the poll. This is a two-part live pertaining to Megan Boswell. More evidentiary material was shown in court today, day 5. Trash can bag shown to the court. The trash bag that the child was put into, discarded. In the plastic bag, child's head wrapped in foil. Other debris, trash was in that trash bag. This trash bag, which was inside of a white plastic garbage can, was found in a shed. Megan's old playhouse, which sat beside her trailer on the property. Just devastating information pertaining to a 15-month-old Caucasian baby girl who was dumped like she was nothing. And as I had said before at the beginning of this live stream, feel free to go back to get the replay. I don't have any remorse for her or anybody that unalives a child, because as I said, many women have a journey of carrying babies alone, not having a baby's father or a husband involved in the life of she and the child. Even when the child is born, women continue to give birth to children. There's no man on site, on deck to take care of the child, offer services, care, love, support. That does not give you the right to kill your kid. Now, if you're suffering from postpartum, you need to seek help. If you're having crying spells, depressed, you feel some type of way towards your child, which is negative, you can't bond with the child, so on and so forth. Whatever your negative feelings are, you need to seek help. You don't go kill the kid, drown the kid, suffocate the kid, break arms and legs. You get the drift. So as I said, if you're looking for that type of nonsense, you're not going to get it over here. And I keep telling people that. I don't know why people keep coming to this network with that nonsense. And if you're offended, I don't care. I'm never going to explain myself when it comes to killing kids. I don't want to hear anything about what the fuck she went through, because everybody has a journey. There are tons of women right now with kids and they don't got no damn help. They may not have family support. They don't have baby daddy support. They don't have husband support. So I don't want to hear it. I'm just so sick of people making excuses for every fucking thing that people do. There is a time when everyone has to set account for his or her damn ways. That's just life. You don't get no pass for killing no kid. And I'm just sick of it. Well, maybe this and maybe that, and the baby daddy, and maybe the baby daddy wasn't around, and da-da-da-da-da. Well, the guy who she said was the baby daddy, he ain't even a fucking baby daddy. And then, too, he lives all the way in another state in the armed forces. He can't keep a kid. He can't babysit a kid. He's in the military. So this is why I tell this to young people, men and women both. You need to stop thinking with your private parts. You need to start thinking. Use birth control. Use condoms. Besides getting pregnant, ladies, you can also get venereal diseases, HIV. Men, same thing. Come on now. You don't want a baby? Okay, you're going to have to be responsible. That's just the way it is. And the fact that she allegedly was rearing other children, this is what she told detectives. Her mother kept spitting out kids like Skittles from the Skittle machine. That should have gave her more incentive to say, I want to use birth control because I don't want to get knocked up. I don't want to be like my mother. I don't want to have kids young. I don't want to be taking care of kids because I'm already taking care of my mom's kids. That's probably what she was doing in her free time, running away, not going to school, out there having sex and didn't use anything. Poof, voila, she's pregnant. Then she couldn't bond with the kid for whatever reason, felt overwhelmed. I get it. It has happened to many women, but you can't kill the kid. And then you sit up here and send these detectives on wild goose chases from here to Virginia to North Carolina, implicating people in taking the kid when they had nothing to do with the disappearance of the child. She knew all along she killed her kid and stuffed that kid in a damn garbage can and put the kid in a shed on her father's property. This heifer is diabolical. Bottom line. Bottom line. And for her to be that young and that sick, come on now. A child's, well, they say an arm or leg was broke. So how did that happen? You know? How did that happen? How does a 15-month-old break their own arm or leg? They don't. She became too much to handle. Well, 15 months old, approaching terrible twos. You're there with the kid all the time. Nobody to help you, nobody to babysit, nobody to come get the kid, spend time with the kid. You came from a family full of strife and contempt and chaos. I get it. You didn't have help with your kid. But many women didn't have help with their children. Many young women don't have help. They don't have family. They don't have parents. They don't have aunts and uncles. They don't have cousins. They don't have grandparents to help them. They are out here on their own raising their kids. This is why I always say, I don't understand why young women keep having babies and knowing they don't have no help. They don't have the mental fortitude. They don't have the physical fortitude. They don't have the finances. They don't have the resources. Why do you all keep having children? Help me understand, because I don't get it. That's one thing that has never made any sense to me. Same thing with these young men. You're steady pulling your penis out and sticking it anywhere to go, and then you're crying and moaning when somebody serves you with child support papers. I can't believe she served me. I can't believe she turned me into the state. Why not? Who are you not to be served? You supplied the seed. You think you're just gonna get a free pass to walk around here making fucking kids and not pay for your children? You don't want to pay. You don't want to spend time with the kids. You don't want to take the kids nowhere. You want to denounce the kids. Oh, it ain't mine. I hear all type of wicked stories. It ain't mine. It ain't mine. Oh, so she's good enough to have sex with, but once she's pregnant, oh, it ain't yours. Oh, she was sleeping with a lot of guys. Yep, including you. Including you. Just, just devious lies spun by immature males. It's always she slept with a lot of guys once she says she's pregnant. It's just ridiculous. And even if she did sleep with a bunch of men that you know of or that you think she slept with, the point is you were in the room as well. That's the point. And talking bad about a female after you know you've knocked her up or you've gotten her pregnant or you had sex with her, it's all the same to me. The point is you were there. So you have a high probability of being a father of the child. So bad mouthing a female afterwards, I mean, that's just low rent. And like I said, it's been known this young lady came from a very turbulent family, but she had no right to kill this kid. She should have asked for help. She should have went and sought help from somebody, sought a counselor, therapy, or worst case scenario, contacted the Department of Human Services and gave her child over to the state and or called an adoption agency. So that's it. Yeah, Cal City all over again. It's always the same. Torturing her kid, probably. Leg, arm probably broke before she actually killed the damn kid. Megan didn't have anything in her. And a lot of you all have a distorted ideology about children anyway. A lot of you feel like because people keep their children, that means they're better than people who gave their kids up. How do you come to that conclusion? So you're basically saying, well, they kept their kid, but yet they're abusing their child. So they're better because they didn't give their kid up. They didn't let a family member keep their kid. But it's okay to keep your kid and abuse your kid. Instead of saying, I don't think I can handle raising this kid for whatever reason, and let somebody else take your child or state adoption agency. It's more noble to give your child up than to sit there and keep your damn kid and abuse your damn kid. And how many stories do we have of people who stayed with their biological parents and their parents beat them to damn death, damn near every day, starved them, didn't feed them, didn't clothe them, locked them in closets, basements, sheds, but they're better because they kept their kid. I'm just trying to understand, how do you come to this type of sick ideology? And Dr. Phil loves to say, well, you know, you do better if you know better. Well, I think a lot of people know better. They just choose not to do better. Because in the end, everything is a choice. There comes a point in life you have to own your shit, and that's just it. Hey, this is not for me, whether you're a man or a woman. Hey, I'm not good at being a father. Well, that means lock your penis up. Same thing for the female. Close your little purse up. Keep your legs closed. Makes no sense. Baby after baby after baby after baby. Chasing baby daddies, and you're banging your head against the wall getting the same damn result. When you're going to say to yourself, okay, this isn't working, this baby daddy syndrome. This having babies, he don't want to be involved. I'm really not connecting with the child. What's the point? There is no sex that good worth you getting knocked up every fucking year, every 2 years having kids, and you know, really, you don't even want the kids. So the first thing somebody's going to say is, well, why do you keep having them? And, you know, I'm serious. Explain the logic. I've heard these stories 1,000 times. Baby after baby after baby, giving a baby up, 4 or 5 babies, giving 4 or 5 babies up. Okay, you give up 1 baby, that's one thing, but not 3 more babies, 4 more babies. Well, what is the point? Baby after baby after baby, and you're neglecting them. You're leaving them at home alone. You're not feeding them. So then what is the point? I've brought you all so many horrible stories of child abuse, neglect, and murder of children. That is ridiculous. And then yet you still look up. There's another story of somebody hurting a baby, harming a kid. And this is the point now, as I just told you, they let the kids get even older, 15, 16, abusing their kids. You've heard the stories. I brought you content. 15, 16-year-olds running around the neighborhood, starving to death, weighing damn near 40, 30 pounds soaking wet, and they're older. Mother moved them from New Orleans to Texas, held the kids hostage in the house, and they escaped, brother and sister, knocked on the neighbor's door and finally got help. And the mother had been doing this all her life with her kids, abusing her kids. Stupid officials down there in New Orleans took her kids, or Louisiana took her kids, and then gave her kids back to her for her to only continue to abuse. Oh, because they give them a second chance. This is why I keep telling everybody, every state is not the same when it comes to abuse of children. Some parents actually get another chance to rear their children. And sadly, they take their kids back, and then next thing you know, the kids are dead. So this is why you can't say, you know, every state agency is the same, because they all don't navigate the same. Some actually give you a chance depending on the allegations against you. And then too, if they're unfounded, sadly, the child is going back in the care of a person who's actually abusing them, because that's the point of life. You have to have proof of abuse, neglect. And going inside of a nice house, that's not proof of nothing. You can be abused and be in a beautiful house. Beautiful furniture, furnishings, food in the refrigerator, clothes in the dresser drawers. But that does not mean a child is not being abused. They could be talked down to. They could be ridiculed. They could be getting harsh punishments. You can't see that walking into a fine home. We learned that with that crazy old bat who had her kids held, hostage in her girlfriend's closet. You all know who I'm talking about. Crazy YouTuber. You don't know people. And then you hear people that you know in life will tell you they didn't have the best childhood. And the first thing people say, oh my God, but your mom is so nice. Your dad is so nice. I can't believe it. Well, you didn't live with them. How do you know? How do you know what's going on in somebody's house? Because people put on fronts every day. You wouldn't believe the people out here that you see at your job, at your school, at the McDonald's. They're horrible parents. And you have no idea. Because you know them in a different light. Oh my gosh, she's such a nice lady. I can't see her being cruel to her kids. Oh no, I can't see her having a favorite. Well, oh my goodness, you didn't know that some parents have favorites? Well, join the living. Yes, there are parents who have favorites. And some of you probably have favorites and you don't want to admit it. You like one of your children better than the other one. You like some of your children better than the other one. Hell, some of you will go ahead and tell people, yeah, Johnny's my favorite. And why is that? Because Johnny's more talented, he's smart, he's athletic, he's good with sports, blah, blah, blah. Your other child, he's wayward, he stays in trouble, or she stays in trouble, got a smart tongue, slick tongue. Various reasons why people favor their children. People favor their children because of the baby daddy or the baby mother. If they're good with them, then they like the child. They ain't good with them, then they don't like the child. They look like the child. They look like the parent that they don't like, or they had issues with. I've heard it all. But in the end, there's no reason to be murdering children. So as I said before, so you don't have to go down the rabbit hole and into the abyss. Think before having sex. Think before getting with people with children. Let me say that as well before I check out of here. You know you don't really like children, care for children, you don't want to be somebody's step-parent, then I advise you not to date anybody that has children. Because guess what? Those children are going to come around. They're going to be in your household at some point. Hell, might even have to come stay and live with you. You don't want them there. You need to have all those type of conversations when you get out here and you date people. This is the very reason why we have secondhand abuse by others. Because those people aren't mentally equipped and they don't want to be bothered with children. And they feel force-fed to be dealing with your kids. And instead of them being truthful and saying, well, I really don't want to be around you with kids. I don't want to be around no kids. They don't tell the truth. You know, you got allegations that somebody's hitting your kid. And God forbid, molesting your child. That's a whole nother subject. Trust no one when it comes to children. We have all type of abusers. Okay? And yes, you have that rare occasion that children will lie and say they're being abused by their parents, and possibly not. You know, a lot of parents are strict. Everybody has their own way of, raising children. But I think when you're abusing a kid, you're violating their civil rights. You're supposed to feed your children, clothe your children. You're supposed to bathe your children, comb their hair, wash their hair. Give them some type of privileges to have fun, go out, do things. But you're not supposed to be putting your children out in 100-degree heat and making them stand out in the damn weather for hours, stand in the rain for hours, scrubbing the floor with toothbrushes. Get the hell out of here. Feeding your kid the bare minimum while you're sitting here eating a full-course meal, steak and potato. Come on. And I see it every day. And like I said, all type of horrible stories. People having to take children in from their other, their children or grandchildren because their kids are wayward, getting in trouble with the law. I see all the Facebook posts. Let me tell you, I'm bored listening to it. And it's not to be rude, but that's why I checked off Facebook. I'm tired of hearing everybody's damn story. I'm tired of hearing people talk about their wayward kids. I'm tired of people talking about having to take in their grandkids. I'm just tired of hearing Pookie went to jail, Ray Ray went to jail, Shamiko went to jail. I don't care. I'm tired of hearing the bullshit. So then I have to ask myself, well, why is your child in jail? Is this something you were doing when you raised your children? Because you may not want to admit you've been a little flippant over the years. You got a flip-ass mouth, flip tongue. Now you're on Facebook talking bad about your kids wayward, so you got to take the grandkids in. Well, maybe your kid learned fucked up ways like you, but you don't want to own your part. That maybe you were fucked up too when you had your kid. See, people don't want to talk about that on Facebook. See, you take all kinds. And I'm just telling you right now, as I've talked to you all before about social media and everything, I'm just tired of listening to people moan and cry on that damn box. I've had all I can take. I just threw that in there. Queen is exhausted with everybody and their damn problems. Everybody's got problems. Some form or another. Some man-made, some just, hey, happenstance. But the whole world is filled with problems. 2-part live, everybody. Megan Boswell and a crash, Scottsdale, Arizona, on the tarp. 2 jets. 1 person dead, 3 injured, and allegedly 1 still on the aircraft, hoping by now that person has been removed from the aircraft. So I was looking for information to see if that person has been extricated out of the airplane. 1 person was in the plane that was on the ground that was hit by the incoming jet that had 4 people on the incoming jet. So as I said, prayers to all those who were injured and also to the decedent. Don't know if the decedent was a pilot or maybe somebody cleaning the plane or working on the plane. Don't know all the information, but I'll bring you an update when I get that set information. And prayers for our FAA and NTSB because they are working overload at the moment with all these incidents in Philadelphia, DC, and now Scottsdale, Arizona. And prayers that Evelyn Boswell gets justice. And as I said earlier in the live, I don't really care about anybody having anything negative to say about those people out there who are showing love and concern for Evelyn, that she gets justice. Nobody cares about the naysayers because, as I said, if anybody's out there telling you you shouldn't be standing out there with a poster asking for justice, they're probably just like Megan Boswell. As I always say, birds of a feather flock together. And anybody that upholds a baby killer and an abuser, that means they're just like them. And when you see people doing all that yapping at the jaws about, well, maybe this happened and maybe that happened, they're just like them. That's why they're making excuses for them, because they see themselves in the defendant. You think about that. There's no logical reason to aid a baby killer. You aid the killer because you're just like her or him. You see yourself in them. And that means you need to go get your ass some help. Yeah, I'm keeping it real. Because I don't sugarcoat nothing when it comes to killing no kids and abusing no damn kids. There's just no excuse for it. And if she was in jail, sick, I wouldn't care. God forgive me, I wouldn't. And let's say this. Megan, you're looking a little peaked there in court. Your hair is thinning. My. That part's getting wider and wider. See, that's what happens when you go to jail. You get more weary. You become weary because you're worried if somebody's going to free you out of there. So your hair starts to thin, fall out. You become just like everybody else that goes to jail. Older people start getting grayer. You young people start looking old, defeated. Oh, well, you put yourself there. You put yourself there, and I don't feel sorry for you. I don't feel sorry for you one bit. And the fact that you implicated other people in the disappearance of your child shows that you are callous. You have no heart. You have no empathy, and you definitely have no remorse for the murder of your baby. And that baby had a short life, but God knew. God knew that possibly she could have ended up Megan Part 2. Yeah, I'm saying that because I think that's one thing that nobody's even thought about. What type of life could this child have had in a stinky, nasty trailer filled with trash, fecal matter, crawling around in shit, dirty diapers, soiled milk jugs in the stove. Stay woke. Her journey was going to be short anyway. The child probably was getting sick, probably had ear infections. God knows what was wrong with that little girl. And as they always say, this is not your home. This is just a rental space down here on earth. Even if you own property, you are still renting because you can't take it with you. Amen. Justice for Evelyn Boswell. And prayers for those injured in the Scottsdale, Arizona crash. And prayers and condolences to the person deceased. I will be back for live number 3. Lord have mercy, Jesus. We're going to talk about this Kendrick Lamar mess one more time because now there's new information coming out that one of the dancers has been barred from NFL events for flying the Gaza Sudan flag. Oh my God. Chew my paw off. Chew my paw off. Welcome all new viewers, subscribers. Thank you for the love. Follow the Queen on the Newsbreak app. Take the polls on my community page. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $BigAngie129 Cash App. I'll be right back, everybody, with live number 3. Movie of the week, The Wrong Victim. Free on the Freevee app. Very good movie. It's a foreign movie. You know, the Queen likes foreign movies as well. I believe it's dubbed in English. It's set in France, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a very good movie about a young lady who decides to have a little nightcap with a man after they have dinner. And he decides to do the worst case scenario to her, if you get my drift. He tries to, he attempts to take the cookie, and then it goes terribly wrong from there. So I won't tell you the rest of the movie, but it's pretty good. It's called The Wrong Victim. Feel free to watch the trailer on my community page. And if you want to check it out, you can go over to the Freevee app and watch it for free with ads, of course. Amen, amen. Thank you. Thank you all so much for following this network. I'll be back here in just a few minutes. Go get your popcorn and your drink, because I'm definitely going to get me something to sip on while I do this live stream. Let's talk about this nonsense between Kendrick and the NFL. Should he be barred from the NFL since his dancer has now been barred for flying the Gaza Sudan flag? I expect a lot of people to be in the chat when I come back. So come on back and join me, everybody. I'll see you all shortly. You've been listening to the Vault XL. Thank you.